special son. His name is Jonathan Carey. He is now 36 years old. He was born in May 1985. He was our first son. And the pregnancy was normal, but when they had to induce my labor because I passed my due date, and I was 12 hours in labor, and I had the epidural, and eventually, after being in labor for 12 hours, my doctor decided to give me a C-section. But before he could do that, I went from 4 centimeters down to 9 centimeters. And he had to actually use the forceps to take Jonathan out because Jonathan's back was to my back. So that was the first step. He was born a beautiful baby. Physically, everything was fine. Everything appeared to be normal. And there was no indentation at the sides of his head from the forceps. And basically, we were happy with our firstborn son, Jonathan.
Skimzy, the producer.
Where my vest?
Hi everyone, Julio Hall here, Essentially Alkaline, and I'm here with Miss Carey. And she has an amazing story that transformed a lot of things that we've been doing here over the years. Myself, Sherman, and I to Essentially Alkaline. We are more grateful that we're part of the story and to you. And when we hear things like this, it gives us butterflies because it makes us realize that what we're doing is for a better purpose. And these elements are better and greater than we are. So, I've known Miss Carey for quite some time. Quite happy to hear that it's like
Absolutely.
we're doubtful.
Yes.
I remember the questions.
Yes.
Myself and Sherman will be guiding Miss Carey on this entire process. And it is a very successful story, so I'm happy to share. She's happy to share data that Jonathan is doing 100% better and close to.
Yes.
Close to. So, Miss Carey, how long has it been since you've been here in Essentially Alkaline?
I've been here, I would say, at least 3 months.
3 months.
Yes, I've been buying the products at least 3 months.
How long has Jonathan had this issue?
Jonathan's had this issue for over 35 years. He's now 36 years old.
35 years. 3 months walking into this door. That's your experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How does it feel?
It feels great. But I need to tell the story for you.
Sure, go ahead.
What happened was Jonathan, I'd say before he was a year old, he got what you call a high fever, like most babies get some COVID-19 infection. And what happened was he had what we would call a fit. The body, the tremors, the body shaking.
Just a nerve doctor.
Yes, and so the doctor, his pediatrician, recommended that we give him, they just treated him for that particular time. I don't remember what medication they prescribed, but basically they used the Calpar and they said the tupid baths, and just to make sure to keep him cool whenever he had a high fever, because they felt as a result of the high fever, he got what we call a little fit. And it didn't last that long. Then after that, I noticed as he grew and developed a year and more, I noticed that every time, and also he was very hyperactivity, and I noticed that his development was very delayed because even at the age of 1, he wasn't really walking, he was still creeping, and he was just babbling a lot, things we couldn't understand. understand, you know, that baby talk, ba ba ba, that kind of stuff. We didn't really understand him. And there was about 8 of us girlfriends. He had our babies together, so we would compare notes. Well, what's your baby doing now? What's your baby doing now? But I only noticed it really, Julio, when he was about 2. We noticed that everything was delayed. It took longer to walk, longer to talk. So right away, him and his dad and I, we basically realized something was wrong. But when I went to his pediatrician when he was about 2.5, I really got concerned because I didn't know on his dad's side that his dad had two sisters that were born deaf and dumb.
Okay.
And he had a brother that was dumb. And also, his dad discovered when he was 14, when he went to school away, that he had a problem with hearing, only could hear out of the one ear because there was damage in the other ear. And he wondered why people should be calling him and he couldn't hear them. So then we realized that maybe it was Jonathan's hearing was affected, why he could not speak. And the words were not coming out. And this was Julio just before he was 3.
You start seeing the results, the effects of these things earlier as he actually started developing.
Correct.
And that's when you realize that something was wrong.
Something was wrong. The other thing we noticed was if he went in front of the TV and a little flash of a light, he would actually have what you call a petite mild seizure.
Wow.
And then the pediatrician, I'll never forget, I can say her name, Dr. Pitt was her name, Pete, and she said, I recommend that you take him to Miami Children's Hospital, which we did. And he had all the battery of tests done, the hearing, the speech, as well as there was the neurologist. And he was able to take all of these test results, Julio, and at the end of the test, he told us that Jonathan development was delayed, and also that Jonathan would need special schools. He needs to have more one-on-one. He needs speech therapy, and he also said that we are not to compare Jonathan with other children. We are to meet him where he's at and treat him, you know,
As such,
as an individual, right? So that's what we did. And the other thing he did do was, at that stage, is when he put Jonathan on seizure medication.
Right.
So Jonathan
started to see all the seizures. The development seizures started to happen around 3.
Well, it was a little before that, but they weren't constant. They were, you know, they varied. But the bottom line is he had petite mild seizures. And then he put him on different seizure medication. Tegretol, I remember, was one of them. And he also told us about the education. He'd have to be in a school where you got more one-on-one, small classes, and he also recommended speech therapy. But he also told us some children, they grow out of it as the years go by. And so we were fortunate that we were able to give Jonathan that. So he went to a smaller preschool, and I believe it was at the age of 5 years old we sent him to preschool. And then we noticed, then we were able, at the age of 6, he went to Hopedale Center here in Nassau, which they only had 30 children in the whole school, and the classes were like 8 students in a class. So that was perfect. And so Julio, that was really good. And I must say, at this point, every step of the journey, we've had people helping us. People who, like I said, what I learned as a parent very early in life was to find out where I could go to get help for my child. Of course, he had side effects from these drugs. As you know, all drugs have side effects. And that is, you know, the appetite, increase of the appetite, the spitting, the muscles, the aching in the muscles, and all of those things we noticed. And the hitting of himself, all of the negative behavior we noticed as well. The tantrums, he had lots of those at those early days.
So from then until now, 3 months ago,
Yeah.
what is the difference that you see?
Well, I've seen a big difference. First of all, as a parent, I was tired of my son telling me, Mom, I'm tired of taking the medication. I'm tired of taking the drugs. The longest drug he was on, Depakote. And he's been on that for more than 20 years. He takes 1,000 milligrams, Julio, of Depakote a day. And he doesn't have no seizures. And when I spoke to the neurologist about it, he said, well, he still has to stay on medication, even though he had all these terrible side effects. Pain in the legs, pain in the back, pain in the feet, pain in the muscles. And I was really worried as a mom. And he kept saying, Mommy, and even now he'll say to me, when am I going to get the meds? I'm tired of taking these medications. But besides the Defecaine, he was taking Risperdal, which is the atypical Risperdal, an atypical psychotic drug Julio. And that too had severe side effects. And he was on the injection, the Pixar,
I
for a
think
short
most of
time.
these things messes with the liver and the pancreas
Correct.
over a period of time, which could be like skin conditions and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes.
So we understand how these things work, but because of the trauma that you went through during this development stage, something that you were essentially alkaline.
Well, how I got to Essentially Alkaline was I started having issues with my stomach, and I have a gut issue. Without going through that situation, Essentially Alkaline did help me. When I came here, actually Julio was the first person I saw. He took the time with me and he explained to me about their products, what it can do, and what they are made up of, all naturally plant-based products, which I'm a vegetarian, and I really love that part of it, and they believe in the healthy lifestyle, the organic diet, and that's something that attracted me to Essentially Alkaline. As well as when I started taking their product, the Sea Force was the first one, which consists of seaweed and Irish moss. That really helped me. As well as, like I said, when I discovered and when I started sharing with Julio and Sherman what my son's challenges were, they told me they have a solution. So they recommended, you can look at it, the Nirvana.
So you've been using these three products, Nirvana, and I guess Sherman can show each person right to these items. So
Electric.
electric herbal tonic. Well, I have it here with me. I'm not quite sure if they're gonna see this. There you go. Yeah. So the electric herbal tonic, the Sea Force, the Nirvana. Sherman's gonna break down basically how each of these works, and Miss Carey definitely can just share your story of how this assisted your son and how the Sea Force assisted you. So Sherman can just give a demonstration on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, basically you got the Sea Force, which is seaweeds that have all the minerals you need. So basically what this does is this is nourishing the system, putting back what is either missing or what is low on threshold minerals. The electric herbal tonic is a detox and a cleanser. So this cleans the blood, this cleans the system, which removes pathogens out of the system. And then Nirvana is a calmative, so it has herbs that calm the nervous system, nourish it. So the nervous system is basically the electrical system. So some people may have an overactive nervous system. It helps to calm it. So people who have issues in sleep, rest, insomnia, things of that nature. Yeah. The combination of using all three of them is like a mini package. It serves a person well to take, keep this regimen going on as long as they possibly can to get the benefits. So the Sea Force, the electric herbal, the Nirvana, awesome combination. Very, very, very good combination. I guess time frame, what would be the time frame upon taking this that you start to see the results?
Okay, for me, I would say the Sea Force, along with two other supplements I'm taking, Vitamin Co for Women, which is a strong probiotic, which my stomach really needed, and I take the I-26, which is a hyperimmune egg supplement. That has actually stabilized my gut. And I'm now able to eat foods that I wasn't able to eat before, but I'm basically gluten-free, dairy-free, wheat-free, soya-free, etc. And I found once I took that, and along with my organic diet, my stomach is now stabilized. I'm able to eat without terrible, severe, when I say gas pain, spasms in my stomach. I cannot move. I have to hold on, and it lasts me for several hours. All the over-the-counter stuff never worked. So when I came here, this was the answer to my prayer. Now I'm taking Sea Force along with the electric herbal. And this one detoxes, like I say, cleanses, like I said, my blood, my organs, and I see it in my diet. That even when I go to the bathroom, I can see the difference, I can feel the difference. I feel so much more energetic. It also gives you energy, and also at the end of the day, I feel 100% better than I actually did before. So now let me tell you the real miracle. The real miracle for back to Jonathan, who we're talking about now, my son, who's been on these drugs for over, like I say, 35 years. He's now 36 years old. In May he'll be 37. After being on these drugs, Sherman, where my child, like I say, was taking 1,000 milligrams of Depakote, no seizures. He hasn't had seizures in over 20 years. And the neurologist is telling me my son needs to take it. The other thing I need to mention here, Sherman, when we went to visit the neurologist, I won't mention his name, and my son Jonathan answered all of his questions that day, because my son is very verbal. Physically he's fine, thank God, but he has a great communication. And he said to him, doctor, all of these drugs you have me on is a bunch of poison. Do you know what the neurologist's response was? He said to my son Jonathan, he said, Jonathan, if they're helping you, then you need to take them. Now you tell me, which neurologist or medical professional will tell a young autistic child that he's telling him the medication is poison, but he said if it helps you, you must take it. I'll let you answer the questions for yourselves. But as a mother, I stepped back and I looked at him and I said, excuse me? So you're telling me, even though these drugs are poison, that I must give it to my son? So that day, as a parent, I decided I am going to take my son, make the decision for my son's health, and because I love him, to go the natural way, back to eating the way God intended our bodies, to how we should take care of our bodies, back to eating, back to the ground, back to the herbs. He said he planted the herbs of the field for the healing of our bodies, to heal naturally, not with the drug. Every one of these drugs out there on the market, don't be fooled. Pharmaceutical drugs are made with chemicals. They may put a little plant in there, but the majority of it is chemicals. Why? If you go to the pharmacist and you get your medication, what do they give you? They give you a little pamphlet, and what does it say? The side effects of the drugs. And almost everyone is similar. Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, insomnia, all kinds of stuff. And I've seen it in my son, who I love very dearly. And I want you to know, today he's a miracle. So now today I'm here to testify to you and the world that my son Jonathan, after coming to Essentially Alkaline, when they shared with me, Sherman and Julio have been very, very excellent. They know their products and they explained it to me. They took the time and listened to me as a mother. For the first time I found a place where I could come and open my heart to them, and they've met Jonathan and say, look, what can you do to help my son? I am tired of the drugs. I cannot get the answers from the doctors. The pharmaceutical people can help me, but I need to help him. He's 36 years old, and his life and body is messed right up. When I say messed up, messed up. Mom, I'm tired all the time. He's got no energy. Mom, I just don't feel well. Mom, I got a headache. Mom, my legs are aching. My feet are aching. Mom. What do I say to my son, Sherman? So as a mom, I want you to know out there, as a parent, don't ever give up on your child. Don't let them fool you and say, just write that prescription and give him a drug. The drug only treats, it's a symptoms. It's a band-aid. So I'm here to tell you, don't be fooled by the pharmaceutical people, and don't get your doctors, just write their prescription. Ask them why, what, and how. And what I did, Sherman, every drug they prescribe, I went to research myself online, and I went to ask somebody who knows. Because at the end of the day, I can tell you as a parent, I'm here to testify. Because the doctor doesn't live with my son. When I see him hitting his head, hitting himself, verbalizing negative behavior, you have no idea what it's like to live with a child that's got so much drugs in him that he cannot function. He's like going out of his mind. The drugs have him messed right up. And at the end of the day, we love our children, and all we want them to do is have healthy bodies. So on this Nirvana, when Sherman and Julio explained to me, and I want you to read it to you, central nervous system, it says for agitation, anxiety, depression, epilepsy for my son, headaches, migraines, and general pain. He used to tell me he has pain, but he couldn't tell me yet. Hypertension, Hysteria, I've experienced that disorder. Relieves menstrual cramps, but he doesn't have that. But permeates syndrome, PMS, well, he doesn't have. But he has mood disorders. Sherman, he had depression, anxiety, stress, nervous complaints. When he doesn't know he's right from, he's all agitated, he's on a high, I call it. Doesn't know where he's coming and going. Neuralgia, seizures, yes, palpitations. When his hands are shaking like that with tremors. Restlessness, oh yes, I know about that. And like I say, spasms. Yes, I've seen the spasms. When he's had the seizures, the whole body goes, clenches up like that. And also sedative. After he takes it, yes, it drugs him up. And he's like this. Okay? Stomach. My stomach is sore. And nervous. Indigestion. All of these I can testify, if not every one of them, but at least 3/4 of these, I'm letting you know. So now, let me tell you the miracle. Okay, Sherman, ask me the question. How long has Jonathan been on this? What did I tell you? 4 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah.
So based on Sherman and Julio's suggestion, they said to me, go ahead and try it. That's the only way you're going to know, even though it's on the meds. So as a parent looking for a solution, and I'm a home care professional, I decided to take the chance and to test this. You know, in life, you won't know till you ask. I mean, until you try it, right? And so don't question and say, you won't know. And so I'm a person, I don't give up. If plan A don't work, I'll go to plan B. But this is my child like we're dealing with, okay? So based on the explanation to me, I said, okay, now you know you got to wean the person off the drug, right? So based on what I had learned and studied as a home care professional, I went ahead and I tried it, and I gave him 3. It says 2 to 3 capsules, 3 capsules actually, 2 times daily, with 16 ounces of water, and I did that. Plus I switched his diet. But he's been a vegetarian, but I mean, I made him more organic. Took him off all the junk, all the high, complex carbs. So we basically live off sweet potato, yam, pumpkin, broccoli, carrots, all the real stuff, the salads, and of course, like I say, the protein. So would you believe? Would you believe? Within a week, I noticed the difference. When I gave him the 3 in the morning, the 3 in the night, he was sleeping much better. He wasn't complaining to me. That was a miracle by itself. But you know what, folks? The calming. I saw the calming. Not like the drug. It took effect faster than that drug would take effect. Today, I'm here to testify. 4 weeks later, my son Jonathan is off his Depakote, 1,000 milligrams again a day, and he was taking 8 milligrams of the Respidol. That's my story. And he's a completely different child. His brain is more alert. He's asking more questions. In fact, he asks too many questions now. And he's so much more alert. So I'm here to testify. It works. So I want to say thank you very much to you and Julio for making this a reality. And I'm letting you know I'm here to tell the world and to testify that Essentially Alkaline store is the place to come. So if you want answers to your unanswered questions, don't depend on those drugs. Know that the drugs is only treating your symptoms, and then the side effects, I could testify, because today his own dad is suffering as a result of the side effects of the drugs.
As we know, it's very rare when these occasions take place. We have a few clients that will come in and they will share their story with you on the results of what took place. So I'm actually very grateful. My colleagues here at Essentially Alkaline, Sherman and myself, we are very grateful, the entire team, that Ms. Carey took the time out to come by and share the results that she and her family saw. So until the next time, just Julio, all here at Essentially Alkaline. We are nutritionists, we are alkaline nutritionists. If you have any queries and questions on ADHD, preliminary issues, nervous conditions, nervousness, anything to do with the central nervous system, you want answers, you have a family member that has Parkinson's disease, any of the conditions, reach out to us here at Essentially Alkaline at 356-3301, or email us or contact us directly on any of our social media platforms. That is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, any of the above. And if you have any results on yourself, family member that have used our products, be free to walk in and share that with us. You get 5% off on your herbal discount packages, and on your herbal items. And if you've been shopping with us here at Essentially Alkaline for more than a year, you get a $1 return on our recycle system. All right, so a ton loads of returns and giveaway, and we have our customer service months that we do, customer appreciation days at the end of each month. So come by and don't miss out on these special moments to treat you and your family with something healthy. All right, so until next time, I will see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Ms. Carey. Thank you for the Carey family and the entire team at Essentially Alkaline for always making sure that everyone is healthy. So see you guys around.
And don't forget my C-Force. That's the first one.
Oh, right.
Just to show them.
What's that? The C-Force.